Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for the third edition of the Duckpin TV Doubles Duel. We're here in Warwick, Rhode Island at Meadowbrook Lanes. My name's Eric Lateska. I'm here, as always, with my broadcasting partner, Pat Rufo. Pat, say hello to your fans out there and tell them what we have in store for them today.
Well, good evening once again, and tonight we've got a pretty special matchup. We're taking our champions and we're putting them on the defensive here. We're bringing them to an away game of sorts and putting them on their contenders' home court. Mike Labrie and Brian Miller are going to come down here in Rhode Island and take on two Rhode Island bowlers, Andy Fierlit and Will Rigney. Andy's going to give us hopefully some entertainment as well as some good bowling, and I think our champions are in for a very tough challenge in this series.
Yeah, let's throw it up to our executive producer for a recap of the last match, Duckpin TV Doubles Duel 2.
Thanks, Eric. Well, Doubles Duel 2 might as well have been called the Mike Labrie show. He was really quite dominant throughout the entire duel, and he carried his team to victory. Here you see him throwing a double, 2 strikes in a row, in the decisive doubles match. Team looked a little shaky though. Brian Miller, 124 in a singles defeat, and only 110 in that decisive doubles match victory. These guys look vulnerable. Do you think they can repeat?
So, Pat, what do you think?
Well, it was a tough series for the champions, even though they won, and they're both going to have to really focus on the singles, cleaning up the deck. A couple of the games came right down to pin or two here or there, but they did do what they had to do to win. And guys like Fierlit and Will Rigney can throw a lot of strikes, so they're going to have to really be on their A game to contend in this cycle.
Absolutely. I think we're in for an exciting match, and it looks like our bowlers are just about ready. We'll be back in just a moment, right after this.
Staycation at Meadowbrook Lanes. In addition to youth, senior, and adult leagues, Meadowbrook Lanes offers a number of open bowling specials. On Friday nights, $25 will get you bowling for 1 hour, and shoe rental, and a large 2-topping pizza, and a pitcher of soda. For $5 more, you get a pitcher of Miller Lights. On Sundays, pay only $2 per game, from 10 to 1 and 6 to 9. Have your next birthday or family party or corporate event at Meadowbrook Lanes, where you will not have to worry about the weather. We also have a full-service lounge with live entertainment. Come down to 2530 Warwick Ave in Warwick, Rhode Island, and enjoy the air-conditioned comfort of Meadowbrook Lane's 22-lane Duckpin Bowling Center and Lounge. Visit us online at bowlri.com and like Meadowbrook Lanes on Facebook.
All right, welcome back, folks. As the bowlers have now completed their warm-ups, we're going to go over the format for this particular match of the doubles duel. And I understand there's been just a couple of minor changes, Eric.
Yeah, that's right, Pat. So the doubles duel is a series of matches, each worth a certain amount of points. The duel begins with 2 singles matches, each worth 1 point. Next is a doubles match worth 2 points. Finally, and if necessary, we'll have a Scotch doubles match worth 2 points. This is a match where the bowlers will alternate shots. This small change in the format of the doubles duel makes it possible to have a tie. And if that happens, we'll have a 2-box roll-off for all the marbles.
And it looks like at this point we are ready to begin our first match as Andy Fierlit from Meadowbrook Lanes takes the lane and is going to start his first shot of the doubles duel 3.
Yeah, Andy, the second lefty we've had on our program here, comes from the left side of the lane, puts a lot of spin on the ball. Definitely capable of carrying a lot of strikes. And
I can tell you right now, he loves this house, and he's really throwing the ball amazingly well right now. And he's injured last year for a while. He had some problems with his wrist, and he was out of the game for just a little bit. And he worked really hard and a lot of therapy and got back, and he's throwing the ball really well.
He gets up and drills the 10-pin in the face. Very nice start.
Always a good start to get that first single.
Now Brian will take the lane on lane 10. He'll start the first of his first 2 frames here.
Now Brian, during the last doubles duel against Robustelli and
Danzaro.
He was a little. At times he seemed a little deer in the headlight, maybe a little uncomfortable. But I think by now coming back as defending champ, maybe that feeling isn't quite as strong, and he's going to be a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, we know his performance wasn't up to his own standards, but we also know that he was coming back from a long layoff,
This is
a very
true.
nice vacation.
Yeah, which he enjoyed and continues to tell people about.
Yeah. And he throws a great ball, leaving the 1-4 on his first ball there, and just a little heavy on the head pin.
But
Doesn't
again, a
carry
little
the two.
bit different even right there. He's on the object pin, and he had a chance to make that.
And leaves a single up there.
We talked about that at the opening. That's something they have to really focus on.
Yeah, this is in his last match, his singles match against Rick Danzero. We saw him leave a lot of pins on the deck, and that really cost him. I think Rick basically got an extra frame on him
Yeah,
because
at
of
one
that.
point, Rick actually essentially scored a mark without really throwing a mark.
Yeah.
That's always a confidence builder if you're on that side of the ledger.
So Brian takes the lane there, lane 9, and only carries 4. Very heavy on that 2-pin.
Yeah, it's close to a 2-pin chop there, but he carried a couple pins in the back. Again, we talked about this. If Brian can get this under control, he's capable of throwing a lot of strikes. So it's just a matter now for him to just shake off the jitters and start throwing a better ball in the first ball.
It shoots the spare well. It's certainly a makeable 6-pinner, but a little heavy on the head pin. Doesn't carry the back 2. Shooting a 4-7 here for a 10.
So again, pin here, pin there. It may not seem like a lot to many of the viewers out there, perhaps, but in a match like this where it could come down to the 10th frame, you're going to think back of those singles and those third balls. And I know you guys talk about it a lot when coaching with the younger bowlers, how important those pins are.
That's right. Here's Andy starting his second frame, filling a spare in his first frame.
Well, you got to break of that 9-pin kicking out late. It makes this a much more convertible spare.
Yeah. Was a little light on the head pin there, but his form looks really good. He looks like he's on balance and solid at the line. And it shows on that second ball.
Yeah, he's, as I said, right now and over the past few weeks, and one of the reasons he's here to contend is because he's been bowling, phenomenally well and scoring very, very well. I know the past weekend tournament here at Meadowbrook, he went 777 scratch, I believe, and easily won the tournament. Well, no, I shouldn't say easily. He won by 4 pins.
Yeah. It's tremendous performance. Three lucky 7s. You hope you win with that,
Yeah,
right?
that's a great score to have.
And just
Another big ball from Andy there.
buries one in the 1-3 pocket.
And Andy and
It's
I
a solid 7-pin.
Andy and I had talked about this. I've seen him a few times prior to the first match, and he's really excited. And he was kind of questioning whether he could be animated or I said, "Oh no, please do. Bowl, be yourself." You know?
And he is 3 for 3.
Yeah, he's starting off just as you would expect him to do. He's just coming out of the gates firing, and he's built an early 18-pin lead.
Yeah.
Plus, he's
For
got a mark
Brian
up in
here,
the third.
it's time to make a statement.
Well, the
You're
good
not just
news-
going to run over me.
Absolutely. The good news for Brian is none of them have been strikes, so the chance for a double hasn't appeared yet.
And he puts one in the pocket. Doesn't get the payoff there.
Yeah, a little
at the 5-7.
an unfortunate break on that. Actually, it was. I think you most often would see the 5-9 there instead of the 7 over there in the corner with it.
It's a makeable spare. It's not easy. It would be a great way to start. He's going to look to get his third 9 in a row here.
Which again, it puts him down a lot early. Not a position you want to be in against anyone, but especially someone the capability Andy has.
But he found the head pin pat, so he's moving in the right
Absolutely.
direction.
He's got to keep that ball in the middle of the lane and hope he starts getting some strikes.
There he is on the head pin again.
So there's Brian on the
And
board.
Brian's on the board. All right, folks. So while there's a break in the action, we have a new segment to introduce to you this week. Before the match, we sat down with Brian Miller and grilled him with as many questions as we could in 60 seconds. Check it out. All right, Brian, 60 seconds. Highest game.
225.
Favorite bowling center.
Holiday Lanes.
James Bond or Jason Bourne.
Bond.
Best bowler in the world.
You.
Favorite Adam Sandler movie.
Waterboy.
Favorite vacation spot.
Gotta be Tahiti.
Favorite planet.
Does Pluto count anymore?
Not anymore, but we'll take it. Favorite Duckpin TV announcer.
That's gotta be you again, kid.
Wow, 2 of these. Favorite pizza.
Anything. Bacon.
Favorite sports team.
Gotta be Liverpool.
Liverpool. Soccer. Ketchup or ketchup.
I like ketchup.
Beauty or brains.
I got both.
Lemon or no lemon.
No lemon.
Shaken or stirred.
Shake it up.
All right. Thanks a lot, Brian.
Well, it certainly was a lot of fun to see Brian handle all those questions we threw his way. I hope you folks at home enjoyed the new segment as well. And right now we're looking at Andy on a mark in the third at 46 plus with a 19-pin plus advantage right now in the third box.
Yeah, he's got a sizable advantage over his opponent, Brian, at this point.
Another 9-drop. Something also new you might be experiencing with this particular doubles duel is the fine folks at Meadowbrook seem like they may have advertised this little segment, and for at least for tonight anyways, for tonight's week and opening week, we've got some fans here, and here's some cheering in the background.
Yeah, that's just as you say that, Andy misses his first spare break, but
You know,
still in a very good position here. Cover that up.
it gives Brian at least a sense of there's a chink in the armor. There's some vulnerability there.
Yeah. Perfect moment for Brian to seize.
Yeah, it was a good spot for Brian to put his first mark up as well. Stop the bleeding and start to turn the tide the other way.
Andy's going to try not to let this become a trend. He's going to just keep doing what he's doing, hitting the head pin.
He gets
really
a rough,
heavy.
very rough break there.
And leaves himself just an incredible.
Yeah, that's an unusual
6,
lead, really.
8, 9, 10.
Basically shoved everything off to the left there and didn't really do anything to the 4-pin. Oh, what a shot right there!
He makes it.
That's a great
Incredible
shot right
cover.
there. It's
Sensational.
This game, there's not much up there that doesn't go if you hit them the correct way.
Yeah. Not what Brian was looking to see.
Well,
Nevertheless, Brian's taking the lane, filling his first mark. And Brian's capable of throwing strikes past.
this is a big ball in the match for Brian. I mean, obviously, we're now almost halfway through the game. He's got to start putting some numbers up there, and he gets an unfortunate break as the 6-pin decides to fall down at the last minute and leave him a very difficult spare leave.
Yeah, it would have been much easier with that 6-pin standing. 3-pinner, you can just hit the 6-pin on either side. You carry the 2.
Now he's got a nearly impossible. Not impossible, but nearly. A lot of things have to go right to make that shot.
Yeah. Again here, looking to get to 9.
It's he had a little glimmer of hope there, and then and suddenly it's right back to a possible 30-pin lead.
And so Brian's been on the head pin these last few frames here, 3 frames in a row, and just unfortunately, a couple of splits. Right. He's climbing uphill.
The ironic thing is he's certainly throwing a better ball than he did against Robustelli and Dancero, but not getting quite.
Yeah, the results aren't much different.
Right.
So we'll update you on the score here as Brian finishes his frame. And there you go.
There's another mark for Brian. So
still fighting.
It's not over. 4 boxes to go. If he could start throwing a heavy ball, get that pocket blasting out, and get some strikes, and start making a run at it, there's plenty of time left still.
Yeah. So Andy now takes the lane to start his 6th frame. He has a 75 through 5 frames working on a mark. Brian through 5 frames has 54, but completed a 6th frame with a spare.
Big ball there from Andy.
Yep, keeps keeps Andy honest.
I guess the fortunate thing for Brian is many of these balls Andy's thrown could certainly be 10 in the pit. He's thrown a real good first ball.
It's always nice to see the single pin right in the middle of the lane.
Yes, nice place for it.
Andy just really in the zone. Missed a single there, but
Well,
you
you know,
can't hit them
you're
all.
not going to expect to make every single one of them, but
But outside of that, he's flawless.
He's
Been
going
on the head pin every single first ball, covered a
Every
really
time.
tough split,
Yeah,
and
that,
covered every other single.
you can't fault him for missing a single, and then he comes back and makes an almost impossible split. There's another example where Andy was clearly off the head pin there and got an excellent 7-pin drop with a chance to really convert.
And Andy just continues to be perfect. Perfect through 7 frames. He's got 111. 111 through 7, working on a mark. And Brian has 64 in the 6th, working on a mark. We're going to take just a quick break, folks, and we'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Lucky Strike Lanes is located at 185 Stafford Road in Mansfield, Connecticut. That's Route 32, right across from the drive-in movie theater. Lucky Strike has 24 duckpin lanes and is home of the Eastern Classic, duckpin bowling's most historic tournament. Lucky Strike is also a great place for birthday parties, group outings, corporate functions, and fundraisers. Lucky Strike also has lanes available for open bowling. Rock and Bowl every Friday and Saturday night as well. You can visit Lucky Strike Lanes at luckystrikelanesct.com or on Facebook, Lucky Strike Lanes CT. Hope to see you soon. Welcome back, folks. You guys may be wondering why I'm up here with Pat and Eric. Well, these guys have made a bet, and it's going to be playing out for you over the next 3 weeks. They will be bowling a 3-frame game, 1 frame, each week. And the loser of this 3-frame match will have to wear this lovely pin suit. Smells lovely, guys. So let's get this game started and see what you guys can do. Looks like Pat's going to be up first on lane 9. Pat is a bowler, just not a commentator. We'll see how he does in his commentating attire. So Pat's up on lane 9, his lovely Meadowbrook Lanes bowling shoes. It's away. Oh, look like a good ball there, just straight through the head pin. See if he can pick up this tough split here. I gotta say, it can't be easy bowling in a shirt and tie, but that's how they used to do it back in the day. Looks like an 8-box there for Pat. Not the greatest of starts, but what can you do when you chop through the head pin? Eric up now on lane 9. Eric is quite the bowler. He has a Pro Tour victory, but he was not wearing this fitted collared shirt and tie. Let's see how that may restrict his movements here. Oh! Almost gets the backdoor strike. Rufo would have been livid if that had gone down. Eric, of course, bowls a little left to right. Doesn't take too much of a slide, so these house shoes won't affect him too much. And he's able to convert. So through 1 frame, Eric Leteska leads Pat Rufo a spare to 8. And we're going to continue with this match, this doubles duel. So guys, get back up to the booth, and we'll toss it back to you.
Eric, you got a little advantage now. I ripped the middle and you didn't, so.
Yeah, you threw a great ball. It's pretty challenging being up there in
I gotta
house
tell you,
shoes.
I'm not gonna make excuses, but my knee's throbbing this week, so hopefully next week I can come back and feel a little bit better.
Yeah. So scores so far, ladies and gentlemen. Brian through 6 frames has 64, and he's working on a spare. Andy through 6 frames has 101, and he's got a spare in the 7th. That amounts to a 37-pin deficit. Brian's in a pretty deep hole at the moment.
Yeah, he's laying the ball in the right spot. He's no one's gotten the benefit of a strike yet. So neither one of them can be too upset about the other's fortunes or misfortunes.
And you're not. And if you're Brian, you're certainly not completely out of this match. You got a long way to go to be able to reel
not
it
at
in.
all.
But there's a lot more bowling to do.
Right. And the other thing he's got to remember is, it's at some point you can say, okay, fine, I got beat by a 170. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Be respectable. That's all you.
Just try to do as best you can. Come back next week and watch Mike try to even up the series if that's the case.
Yeah. Brian, another great shot up there. Breaks 9. Oh, and just loses the ball off the edge of the lane there. It was pretty close.
Yeah, that's a costly one. With only 2 frames left for Brian, it doesn't leave him a lot of room for anything but throwing strikes now.
Yeah. And Andy's
I mean,
really got a great game going
yeah,
here. He can almost wrap this up in the next
almost
in this frame.
Brian can max out at 161 right now, and Andy's at 41 plus a hit up. He's only a mark away from closing it out.
Yeah. And Andy finally carries the strike.
Here's the first one. A little bounce in that one.
So Andy's firmly in control of this match at this point. It certainly looks like he's going to close this out. And
well, now we're going to see
and win the
professional
game.
bowlers, because then now you're going to see what they do when, even though the game's over and there's paper left, you're going to still see good bowling.
Absolutely. And then, fear not, ladies and gentlemen, this match is far from over.
Well,
this is
this
just
is
game one, and
point
it's only
one.
worth 1 point.
1 point. There's 6 points available, and this is 1.
We'll see how far Andy can go here. He's got room for 211.
He does have a monster game going, and with a single that he missed.
A little light in the 1-3 pocket
Yeah,
there.
at that point,
Little action off the wall, but
Right.
he's looking at the 4, 5, 7, 8, 10.
it's a big mess down there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he throws that same ball that he converted in the fourth, it's quite possible you could see another tremendous spare.
Yeah.
This time it's on the left side of the lane, so we'll see if he can squeeze it over to the right.
And we've seen Andy hit the left, hit the right. Look at it.
As close as you can come,
He's
probably,
putting on
right?
a show.
That pin went right behind the 2 pins he wanted to hit.
Even when he misses, it's exciting. I guess you can't say he really missed.
And not really. He hit the object pin and sent the pins flying over there. It just didn't do the work.
And he's going to have to settle for his first 9 of the match. He's got 148 through 9. And, ladies and gentlemen,
This match isn't over.
This match is not quite over. Brian Miller absolutely has to have a strike here to have a chance. And he's been on the head pin, Pat.
He has. He's thrown the ball very well over the last 4 or 5 boxes. Unfortunately, he had a couple of spares that he just didn't convert. Otherwise, he would not be in the position he's in.
Looks like he pulled up a little bit. And
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't as smooth a
Wasn't a
delivery
great
as
follow-through
it had
on that.
been the previous boxes. Let that one.
he's just a bit outside there.
Yeah. Well, as much as he's trying to clear the deck, it's got to be a little bit discouraging to look up there and see that you can't catch him. Of course, now he gets all kinds of help from the head pins flying around.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that frame, Pat, this has really been a good performance from Brian. Just
Again,
not a lot of help.
He's down 38, but he definitely had opportunity to convert a couple other spares, and didn't get any cooperation for getting strikes. If he's a strike bowler in some sense because he gets hot and he starts stringing them. You got to take your hat off to him and hope he could throw a 130. It's not a terrible first outing.
And he misses the six pin there.
Yeah.
Try to cover this pin.
Well, just lick his wounds and, like I said, come back next week and cheer his partner on and hope they can tie the duel up.
Yeah.
Right now, Andy's just, going to keep throwing the same ball, stay focused, try to just keep that competitive edge.
Yeah. Andy has looked brilliant. Really just great rhythm. And
I watched him, as I said, I watched him this weekend, and he was just firing the ball.
Yeah. Reminiscent of performance we saw him put on last year at the opening event on the DPBA Tour at Highland Bowl, where Andy was top qualifier. I think through 10 games he averaged almost 170.
Jeez, it's unbelievable. Well, it's not, because I've seen him bowl, so it's not unbelievable. It's good bowling. So he's going to go into the 160s. Right now, looking at a possible 168 to close it out. Picked one off there for a final score of 167 for Andy Fierlit and a 120 for Brian Miller.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment, folks, with winners of our first match.
Your staycation at Meadowbrook Lanes. In addition to youth, senior, and adult leagues, Meadowbrook Lanes offers a number of open bowling specials. On Friday nights, $25 will get you bowling for 1 hour and shoe rental and a large 2-topping pizza and a pitcher of soda. For $5 more, you get a pitcher of Miller Lights. On Sundays, pay only $2 per game from 10 to 1 and 6 to 9. Have your next birthday or family party or corporate event at Meadowbrook Lanes, where you will not have to worry about the weather. We also have a full-service lounge with live entertainment. Come down to 2530 Warwick Ave in Warwick, Rhode Island, and enjoy the air-conditioned comfort of Meadowbrook Lane's 22-lane Duckpin Bowling Center and Lounge. Visit us online at bowlri.com and like Meadowbrook Lanes on Facebook.
Okay, so Andy, you came out of the gates flying, 168, 167. You've been bowling great. What do you think about your opening match of the duel?
All I really wanted to do was just set up Will to take on for the next match, because he obviously has a tough match between Mike and himself. Hoping our team could just pull through.
And you got 1 point in. You got to hope Will can come back next week and do his job, maybe 2 points.
Absolutely.
It's a long duel.
That it is.
4 weeks. And what we'd like to do is ask you to like us on Facebook, number 1, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Duckpin TV's Doubles Duel. We would like to take a moment to thank all of the donors, volunteers, and the Host Bowling Center for making this show possible. Make sure you tune in next week on Monday, July 21st, as Doubles Duel 3 continues with the singles match between Mike Labrie and Will Rigney. Stay tuned to Duckpin TV, the home of Duckpin bowling.